you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Crew, good morning. It is Friday. Thankfully, it is Friday. It is February 13th. You're watching Peaks2Plains Weather, and I am Chief Meteorologist Matt Meister here. It's 6:30, and it is Mornings with Meister live here on all the Peaks2Plains weather platforms. Peaks2PlainsWeather.com, Peaks2Plains Weather app, YouTube, social media, wherever you are is where I want to be. And we have some weather to talk about here, and I'll do that here in a second. But I don't know what you have on tap this weekend. I have my nephew's, well, it's not a wedding reception. They got married in December in Wisconsin. But, you know, being from here, Mom and Dad are having a reception for them tomorrow on Valentine's Day, which is super, super nice. Valentine's Day tomorrow. I gotta get my wife something. I've been a little bit busy with Peaks2Plains Weather. Some of you saying good morning this morning, so let's say good morning to you as well. Karen is checking in, says hi Matt. Good morning, Karen. Nikki says good morning. Good morning, Nikki. And Marty says good morning as well. Marty, good morning to you. I want to let you know what I've got in the old Peaks2Plains Weather mug this morning. I have American Classics Coffee Yosemite Dark Roast. And it's the end of the dark roast. I've been drinking this for the last few days. I go through a bag of American Classic coffee about every 3.5 days. I'm finding, I don't know if that means I'm drinking too much or what. But American Classic Coffee, the official coffee provider of Peaks2Plains Weather, you can check them out online. What I love about all of them is, you know, kind of rolling through all of the roasts, the blends, if you will. And they're all so smooth, is what I like about it. And I like seeing if I taste the notes that are in here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Like when I was a little worried about this one because it says ripe fig, which is fine, and lily. Like I don't want to taste flowers in my, I don't get that out of that one, but Yosemite's so good. You put Peaks in the checkout, you get 10% off. All right, let's talk about the weather here a little bit early this morning. Let me show you where we were yesterday. We hit 60 in the Springs. We hit 68 in Pueblo. Lamar was there as well. Lots of 50s over the mountain areas. It was a really, really mild day across southern Colorado, and even some of the mountain areas that were getting some off and on snow yesterday. I mean, it was 43 at Aspen. That's at the airport a little north of town, but, you know, not overly cold given that we had snow in the high country. Here's my pick of the day. If you ever want to send me a photo, open the Peaks2Plains Weather app. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a Send to Matt button. And you can send me a picture or video that's already in your photo roll, or you can just open your camera straight through it and send it to me as well. I'm doing picks of the day. We've got Banjo's Buddies. I'll show you Banjo's Buddy for the day coming up here in just a little bit. But I wanted to show this from Robert. So he actually sent this on Tuesday. And, you know, we talked yesterday live with Ted Johnston from the Broadmoor, Manitou Springs, Pikes Peak Cog Railway, talking about how much snow isn't up there. I do think we'll wake up to some snow tomorrow on Pikes Peak, and that should be a good start to the weekend. This morning, we are cooler than what we had yesterday. If you were with me yesterday, we had some 40s up against the hills. The Springs was in the 40s. Walsenburg, Trinidad were in the 40s. Canyon was in the 40s. I said that wouldn't be the case today. That has worked out, so let me give myself the old pat on the back there. But temperatures ranging from about 17 this morning in Alamosa to as warm as 38 in Canyon City. As we check out the TAMCO live Doppler radar here, I'll take you to the western slope where the moisture is moving in already. Not all of that making it down to the ground as we start off the day, but that is the leading edge of kind of the heart of this weather system that's been off to the west all week that is going to bring some more snow to the mountains. We're looking at Aspen here. We'll start to pick that up as we head through the middle part of the morning, but see that temperatures At the base, still getting to around 40 degrees, so it's not particularly cold. Farther to the east, Copper Mountain, we've got a clear sky early this morning, but clouds will be on the increase. We'll start to catch some showers here as we head through the middle part of the day. All right, locally, it is time for Banjo's barometer today. We've got 51 for the high in the Springs, 58 for Pueblo. We'll hit these highs in the early afternoon, and then we'll start to see a chance of showers late in the day. So it's kind of split in 3/4 of a day and then 1/4 of a day. So Banjo, he doesn't like getting wet though. He doesn't like baths. He doesn't want to take a walk when it's raining. So he's going to go with a 6 today. I think you might perceive it feeling a little bit better than what Banjo is thinking, but we're having a little bit of fun with that, of course. It's the easy to understand 0 to 10 scale of if it's going to be nice or not. All right. Let's talk about that weather forecast here for the rest of tonight into tomorrow, because we've got some issues if you're going to be out and about tonight. So let me head over to the weather wall. You can see the system coming in here from the southwest. The heart of it is just off the coast of San Diego. Out ahead of it in the southwest flow, we've seen several waves moving through. So I'll put the energy in the atmosphere on here, and you'll see that we've had several waves moving across the area. The heart of this thing is going to stay to our south. That's important. The farther south you are, the more organized, the more long-lasting, and the more significant that the precipitation will be as we move from tonight into tomorrow morning. So let's time it out, shall we? Again, ahead of the next wave in the heart of the system, not bad on the temperatures. And again, this is a pretty mild storm. It's been hanging out off the coast of California for days now, so it doesn't really have cold air with it. That plays a role in who gets rain and snow as we head into tonight. We were checking out Aspen. We'll start to get that snow here in the middle part of the morning. Get some more for Crested Butte. Crested Butte was the big winner on snow the other day, so it was kind of, what was yesterday? Thursday, so Wednesday night, 7 to 8 inches they had in a 48-hour period. Interestingly enough, Monarch yesterday morning reported 1 inch. I mean, come on. Like, let's go. Let's give everybody some snow. We need it. And here comes some snow picking up over the mountains as we head through the afternoon, when we'll start to see the instability increasing locally, start to see the clouds increase, start to have the chance of some showers. But really, that gets better for the Front Range and certainly out across the plains as we head into tonight. And so this is going to be our best chance of moisture here across the area. Notice that some of the darker blues are south of Highway 50. Certainly the heaviest rain over the plains is south of Highway 50. And there are some models this morning that actually aren't doing much up here. I'm going to hold the course. That's why I picked this version of SkyCast to show you. What I do behind the scenes is, there's like 8 to 10 models I could show you. I pick the one that I think is going to be most representative of what happens. So, that's kind of what the forecast in the Peaks2Plains Weather app is based off of, what I'm thinking here. And then as we move into early Saturday morning, you see things end from northwest to southeast, and we'll get everything out of here as we move through the first part of the day. On Saturday, it'll take longest in the southeast corner, but then the sun comes out. So, who gets snow and how much? Started talking about this yesterday. I had the snow level down to about 7,000 feet, but yesterday I pulled it down to 6,500 feet. It's a close call. Some of it, especially up here in the Pikes Peak region, will depend on how heavy the showers are. When the showers are heavier, it actually drags some cold air down to the surface, and you can see the rain-snow line drop a little bit. So in general, for the mountain areas, I think at the ski resorts on the mid-mountain bases, 2 to 5 inches. Some of the heaviest snow here will probably be around the Spanish Peaks and Cuchara, where 3 to 7 inches is possible. You start coming down the slopes, those amounts are going to drop off. So Woodland Park, you could catch 1 inch or 2. Cripple Creek, you could catch 1 inch or 2. Other parts of the northern Sangres and the Wet, you might get a couple inches. And it'll probably be a wet spring type snow. Northern parts of El Paso County, some of the foothills on the west side of the Springs, if you're up high enough, you could maybe get up to 1 inch on the grass and the trees. But what may happen is, if we get that switch over this evening and we're seeing that rain and snow, or rain change over to snow, I should say, and you look out the window before you go to bed and you're like, ooh, it's coming down more than Matt said, some of that's going to melt overnight after it kind of lightens up and even starts to move out of the area. So it's a real terrain dependent storm. No snow in the southeastern corner of the state, mid-30s to around 40. So, you know, if you want snow out here, this is not the storm for you, but you're going to get some welcome water. Again, south of Highway 50 is where it's going to be more sort of organized. Somebody down here might end up with a ½ inch of rain, which will be pretty nice. Even over some of the mountain areas, you see that some of the higher amounts, the farther south you go. Temperature-wise tomorrow, though, with the sun coming out, couple breezes, feels fine for the afternoon. Once we get rid of the moisture down here, we'll be on either side of 60, and the mountain area is still pretty comfortable for the time of year. We head into Sunday. Let me tell you something. You talk about an awesome day. Sunday is going to be great. We start off not bad for the time of year. Be a little bit chilly. I mean, cold in the big mountain valleys. It's all relative for them, though. But look at that. 70s show up here by Sunday afternoon. And 60s in the Springs up to Denver. 50s starting to return in the big mountain valleys. Yeah. Then we start to turn our attention to the West Coast. So we get this first system out of here. Here's what happens in Woodland Park. I'll show you the extended forecast. We warm up. We get warm days Sunday and Monday. Then we start to see the pattern flip. We start to talk about some wind. And I mean a lot of wind in some cases. So I'll come back to that extended forecast here in just a second. Right now, what I thought we would do is get some of your questions, perhaps. And I'm expecting to go up to Crested Butte here in a little bit. So I'm checking my text from Katie Lyons, who we're going to talk to. All right, let's see. Nikki says, I love the rain. It's a blessing. I always want water in Colorado. No idea, no question about that for me. So there you go. Betty says prayers for significant precipitation in Colorado. I agree with you, Betty. And, you know, one of the places that had some precipitation this week is in Crested Butte, and Katie just hopped on. So I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Katie Lyons. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Peaks2Plains Weather.
Another attorney commercial with big promises, millions of dollars, practicing law 24 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of the smoke and mirrors. None of that really matters. What does matter? Having a medical doctor as your attorney. That matters.
All right, Katie Lyons is joining me now. Good morning, Katie from Crested Butte. How are you?
Good morning, Matt. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I am doing great. Thank you very much. You know, I know that you guys were really, really excited here yesterday morning when you woke up. I saw that you had a 24-hour report of 7 inches of snow and a 48-hour report of 8 inches. And Katie, that was leading the way for all of the ski resorts in Colorado. That had to be good news for you guys.
Oh my gosh, we could not have been more excited to wake up and see 7 inches on the POW cam. On a season like this, it feels like a lot more. So we were just thrilled to have that on the POW cam yesterday morning. We felt, I don't know, it just like breathed some new energy into the resort. It was just the refresh we needed to start, you know, skiing things like they felt fresh again. We loved it.
Did you get out there? That is the question.
I did. I got out there before work. I used our uphill route, so I got to poach some fresh turns before the lift started even spinning. And then I went out during the day as well, and it was great skiing all day. So it was amazing.
That's awesome. There's more on the way today into tonight. You know, my family was at Crested Butte last weekend, and we didn't ski. My daughter's recovering from a thumb surgery from flag football and couldn't ski, so we didn't do that. But we were hanging out at the base Saturday afternoon when everybody was getting off. It was a warm day. It was sunny. You know, you've had years where there's been more snow than we've had this year. But everybody was saying how much fun they were having. There was so much laughing. The après was awesome. There was music happening. It was an awesome scene at the base there at Crested Butte.
Yeah, I mean, like Crested Butte's one of those places, like even if conditions aren't, you know, skiing a foot of fresh powder, we like to keep it fun here. We have lots of fun events throughout the entire winter. And it's just a place where you can go to like just hang out with your friends and family, super just low key, down to earth. And our other thing too is that we have our town scene. So we love to send people down to our town. Like, you know, as much as we love Crested Butte as the ski resort, our town is equally fun. So we love to send people down there to like go enjoy a slice of pizza afterward, go grab a drink. And it's just a really special place. I'm a firm believer that you can't have a bad day in Crested Butte.
Oh, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, the little main drag there is awesome, and I love the history of the buildings and the facades that they all have. We went to Secret Stash Pizza, incredible pizza spot, had some Camp 4 coffee. It was awesome. The next couple weeks here, Katie, I think is going to be some of the best stretch of snow here. How far away are some of the high, kind of gnarly stuff that you guys have from being able to be open?
No, that's a great question. So on a season like this, we do have some extremes open currently. We do have some terrain off of the high lift, which is accessible right now, which is super exciting. As far as our other terrain off the north face and the high lift, it's hard to say exactly how much snow that'll take because some of it depends on like how much of that snow is going to blow away. What are we going to do with skier compaction? So it's looking like it'll be, I don't have a firm date, unfortunately. I wish I did, even for myself, but we don't know exactly right now. But we are excited to keep the high lift spinning, keep opening terrain up as we can. And the fact that we have that terrain open right now at all is really a testament to the hard work of our mountain ops teams.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that I think has changed a lot over the last couple of decades at the ski industry in Colorado is just the making of snow, kind of the automation of that, but the ability and the focus of the crews to move the snow around the mountain to make sure that things are open for guests and skiers when they come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even on a season like this, looking at our terrain parks and seeing 20-foot jumps that somehow our mountain ops teams were able to construct out of the minimal snowfall we had is really exciting. So we did have a super long snow blowing season this year, and that just ended pretty recently, actually. So, it's one of those things where we're going to hope Mother Nature kicks in, hope she does her part for the season. But for where we're at right now, we're working with what we got, and we're excited to have what we have. And we're still excited to have people come and ski with us. It's still been a fun season.
Yeah, it's always a great trip, no doubt about that. Any big events coming up over the next couple of weekends that we should know about?
Yeah, so this is going to be a super fun President's Weekend. We're starting things off tomorrow with our Not So Speed Dating event off the Teocalli lift. It's historically known to be a pretty slow lift, but that is the perfect opportunity to possibly meet the love of your life. So excited to have that for some Valentine's Day fun tomorrow. We're also hoping to have our first mountain ops demonstration. We have a series called Snowcats and Abbey Dogs, so we'll be kicking that off on Sunday. And we'll be having a snowcat demonstration in the base area. So this is, if you're a person who loves machinery or if you always wanted to sit inside a snowcat, this is your opportunity. So super excited about that one. And then next weekend we have some live music as well. So vibes are still high, still lots of fun things to do here. And we're excited to have anyone who wants to come ski with us.
This is great. Well, Katie Lyons from Crested Butte Mountain Resort, what's the website before I let you go this morning?
Our website is skicb.com.
skicb.com. It looks great up there. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. I appreciate it. And like I said, there is more snow on the way tonight and then into next weekend. Katie, I know you guys are excited about that. So here's keeping our fingers crossed that it just dumps and dumps and dumps. All right. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me this morning. Okay, so Woodland Park there with our forecast here as we head into next week. Let's talk about that because Katie and the ski resorts are excited about what is going to happen here with the pattern. Meanwhile, some of us maybe not excited about the pattern, and it all hinges because of that system off the west coast that you see there that I'm going to come back to in just a little bit. First, I want to let you know that you can join me live here every morning on Mornings with Meister. And Katie just joined me from one of the links that I'm showing you here. And so I use a system called vmix. That is my production system that I'm using here at Peaks2Plains Weather. And if you put one of these addresses into a web browser on your phone, like Katie had, she was just on an iPhone there, or on a desktop computer, you can join me live. You can come on. We can talk about things. You can give me feedback about Peaks2Plains Weather. You can ask weather questions. We can just share fun stories however you want to do that. For some clarity there between the capital S and the capital K up in the top left-hand corner, that is a J. And then between the capital S and the 1 on the bottom, that is a small L. And those are the same every day. So if you write those down, you can come on the show here every day. So, all right. If somebody wants to come on, just be patient and I will I'll be back here in a second because we're going to talk about this long-term forecast here. So let me go back over to the weather wall. And here we are, upper level pattern. Got this ridge for Sunday that makes the really, really nice day. But then as we head into next week, you see this system here coming in from the west, and notice how bright the orange colors are there. That's a really strong jet stream that the system moving through tonight doesn't have. And so that's going to move across the area on Tuesday. Depending how quick it approaches on Monday, we may start to see the wind pick up, especially over some of the high mountain areas. But this jet streak and this little kink in the flow here is going to drag a Pacific cold front through the area. So ahead of it, we'll get a Chinook wind kind of as it moves through. We still stay windy here on Tuesday. We're talking eastern slopes, east of the mountains in particular. And there's another system back behind it here. There's going to be a lot of water coming into Colorado. That's the good news for the ski resorts that Katie and everybody up in the high country is excited about. So we get into the middle part of the week. One kind of piece of this pattern change has moved through. We've got another one set to move through, and that midweek into Wednesday, Thursday system is going to bring some really, really good snow to Colorado's high country. And notice there's a little bit of a kink back here as well. We still have the jet stream in the area. We're still going to be windy on Wednesday across the lower elevations in the eastern slopes. We're still sitting in a dip here as we head into Friday, and so it will continue to snow across Colorado's high country. So let's watch what happens here through the week. You can see all the water with this system on Sunday, and we start to bring it in with the jet streak here across Arizona, across Utah, and into Colorado as we head through the middle part of the week. Our chance of some moisture over the eastern plains might come late in the week as some colder air kind of gets dragged into that system. You saw in the computer model there was keeping it across northeastern Colorado. It's a long ways away. We'll keep an eye on it. But let me run this computer model just kind of through a good chunk of next week here. And you can see the Cascades get some really good snow. The Sierra Nevadas get snow, you know, all of the Rockies are catching some snow, and then maybe late in the week we'll get some across northeastern Colorado or the Palmer Divide if it works out right. So that is something that we'll keep an eye on. And I want to show you here that the computer model is even picking up on that wind for Tuesday. This is a global model. It doesn't represent the terrain very well. It's more of like a speed bump versus the wall that it actually is. But you can see as we head into Tuesday, the model is just picking up on wind. It's not strong enough with how it's going to actually be there, but it has the right idea, something we're keeping an eye on. I think we're going to have high fire danger that day. In fact, it might be a sort of critical type fire day in terms of the fire danger on Tuesday. Red flag warnings will be issued. It happens when you get a significant length of time where the wind is greater than 25 miles per hour. Humidity is low. On Tuesday, it might be down in the single digits. And over the last couple of weeks, we've had reports from the area fire departments of critical fuels. So all of those criteria are going to be met here as we move into next week. So the look ahead on the forecast, you know, we get that chance of showers tonight. Weekend looks pretty good in Colorado Springs. Warmest days coming Sunday and Monday. We're windy, not as warm for the middle part of the week, getting cooler into Friday. We'll have to see what that storm chance maybe ends up looking like. Some of the strongest wind is probably going to be found along the eastern slopes of the Sangre de Cristos, southern I-25 corridor as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And some of the gusts could be between 70 and 90 miles per hour. It's just a pattern that screams high wind. So, okay, let's check out some other folks here that are giving some shout outs this morning. Quinetta saying good morning. P2P peeps. Quinetta, I love that you said P2P. I've been using that a little bit. I think with time, when we're a couple years into this or a year or two, that maybe we'll be like, I was thinking of those little bumper stickers that, you know, have like the abbreviations for countries and stuff, the white ones with the black outline and the black letters. Like, how cool would P2PWX, like short for weather, be? Maybe I should get that for a license plate, P2PWX. That would be awesome. All right, Kathleen says, good morning, happy Friday. Good morning, Kathleen. I hope you have a great weekend. Brad says, happy to see a little precipitation. Yes, I agree, Brad. He is one of the firefighters in the area. Letitia says, Yosemite is an amazing dark roast. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. It is. I'm telling you what, I like it very much. You go to AmericanClassicCoffee.com. You can get a discount there from Peaks2Plains Weather. Yesterday, I was wearing some merch. Got a new hat that I had. I designed that hat with the folks at Advanced Impressions. If you would like to get some Peaks2Plains merchandise, help me keep the lights on, you can do so on Peaks2PlainsWeather.com. On the homepage there where you can get to the merch page, we've got our live stream happening there. You can download the app. I talk about next week's pattern there in our deeper dive. The daily forecast is always there. And I'm going to be adding today actually some interactive forecast stuff. So that's something to look forward to. I'm always going to be moving Peaks2Plains Weather forward. It is for you. It's our weather together. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, I tell you what. So here's the deal for me. I am doing PA for a basketball game at the Classical Academy tonight. That's where my son went and my daughter goes. Depending on how things are looking, I might do a live this evening about 9:30 or 10 o'clock. If I'm going to, I will let you know so that you can plan. Might do it kind of just for fun, not that this is on the highest impact of storms, but maybe it's something that we can do together. So I'll let you know about that. One of the things I'm trying to work on is I'm trying to get you sort of used to and trained to how I'm going to do this stuff when the weather is high impact and when it's sort of nasty. And I need to be good about letting you know these times that I'm going to be live. I mean, this Monday through Friday, 6:30 is always going to be live here. But these other things, I need to give you a little bit of a heads up when the weather is nasty. So that's it for me today, crew. Thanks for joining me on your Friday. I appreciate it. I hope you have a really, really good day. You are watching Peaks2Plains Weather. Please share the Peaks2Plains Weather app with your friends. The app is where I'm trying to get everybody. That's where I can let you know I'm going to do a live. That's where I can let you know that maybe a snow squall's coming your way, a severe thunderstorm. We're seeing 90-mile-an-hour wind develop, tornado warning, all of that stuff. The Peaks2Plains Weather app is where it's at. Have a good Friday.